Here it is at last, the Helios Tarot forecast for the month, or Tarot Horoscope drawn specifically for your astrological zodiac sign. I'm B.R. Newman, in case you didn't know that already. Check out my website, iamhelios.com, through the link below, and consider everything that I have to offer there. Consider signing up to receive any number of the personal readings that I offer, or consider signing up to take a course. The choice is yours. There's a lot to explore there. Also consider checking out Annie Botticelli's Storyteller forecasts to see the astrological side of everything you're going to see here. It's fascinating, I promise. So, okay, I guess we'll just jump right into it.
So here it is, Sagittarius, your 5-card Helios spread for the month of October. This is a kind of condensed Golden Dawn spread which uses 15 cards. In this case, we have 5 to the same effect. You have a central theme, 2-dimensional timeline options to choose from, a past section, and a fate section. In your central theme, or that which most adequately sums up the whole story arc of this tarot spread, is the 5 of Discs. Now, all 5s in tarot are associated with Gebura on the Tree of Life, which carries with it a kind of needless nature. Now, ultimately, it's not needless, it's there to teach you something. But each manifestation of it does carry an essence of pointlessness, we'll say. So as manifest through Earth, or Discs in this case, this is anxiety or worry, stresses that have no clear function, and a premature kind of despair, having not been given all of the information, not having enough incentive or reason to despair. Despair without cause. So clearly the objective would be to transcend it. So of course this is not saying that your general read, or like the energetic signature of your entire life, can be summed up by this card. No, this is merely the energetic signature of this particular spread, speaking to some particular aspect of your life. And you can figure out what that is based on the nature of this central theme. So what ways do you find yourself worrying? What keeps you up at night? Is it guilt, regret, fear, anxiety? Well, whatever it might be, it's time to stop it. And so you have an opportunity now to break free of it. So that's quite positive. Ultimately, this is an opportunity presenting a new vantage point, as determined by your fate section here, the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is in the position that he's in because he wants to be. He has decided to put himself in such a position that would allow him to see things completely differently. He has no other choice. He's upside down. This card has ties to Norse mythology, Odin, who hung himself from the Tree of Knowledge in order to gain the wisdom of the universe through the understanding of the runes. So by hanging himself there, he gained so much more than he would have without doing that. So that's what this is all about. So transcending needless worry for the sake of gaining a new understanding of things. So the way to go about doing that is by taking one of these two options here, these 2-dimensional timelines, both outlined by major arcana cards, much like your fate section here. These heavy-hitting, high-gravity cards mark significant milestones in your life. So huge stuff here. This is quite profound. On the one hand, you have the Emperor, which represents consistency, stability, authority, persistence. So this is not a personality type that would easily turn himself upside down. And on the other hand, you have the Chariot, which quite nicely lines up with the energy of the Hanged Man, as it has written into it energy of self-sacrifice and adventure, willingness to change, and hope for the best case scenario, and the willingness to attempt something for the sake of entertaining that hope and that faith. So this lays out a pretty simple dichotomy for you to base your choice upon. On the one hand, you have not changing, persisting, with that which you know to be true, and perhaps in spite of that worry, perhaps in spite of the situations or the feelings, the beliefs, the belief systems, the psychological constructs that keep you worrying. In spite of all that, you persist because perhaps, let's say, you believe so strongly in the perspective you have now that you're not willing to change that, even if the perspective itself is defined by the willingness to change, the mutable nature of Sagittarius, for example. Whatever the case may be, what is called for here through the Hanged Man is something different, something other than what you're doing. And the Emperor embodies doing things as they've always been done. Clearly the Chariot represents the high road. Now, both choices are fine. You can take either of them. However, there's a clear opportunity that's being presented here, and the Chariot is simply the most efficient way to take advantage of that and make this truly a profitable and enjoyable experience. So how do you do that? Initiate change. You make a dramatic shift in one way or another. So the Ace of Swords in your past represents an idea that you decided to solidify or actualize. You set something in motion, some chain of causes and effects that have been playing out for quite some time, and now it's getting to be a bit dramatic. You're starting to feel a bit bogged down by all of that, as represented by the Five of Discs here in your central theme. It's time to move on. It's time to transcend all of that needless drama and move quite a bit beyond that Gebura paradigm. So the idea here is to work smarter, not harder. So by choosing the Emperor path, you would be continuing that Ace of Swords suit, and you would then by default be activating the whole story arc of the swords, and that's not necessarily a pretty one. It's not an enjoyable one to embark upon. So the Ace of Swords have to do with strife and challenging ideas and friction, karma, conflict, the ultimate lesson of which is humility. And if you have humility, if you accept that now, you don't need to embark upon that journey. You can just simply carry that with you now as part of the grander mechanism of your being. So to activate the Chariot, you don't necessarily have to abandon the idea, the motivation, or that which has incentivized you to take this Ace of Swords paradigm and turn it into the Five of Discs in your current situation. The idea here is actually just to navigate this consciously and intelligently, avoiding all of the pitfalls and making this profitable and enjoyable. So you don't have to abandon the idea or that which you have already known. The idea here is to shift what you choose to do with it, and shift your perspective, shift your attitude, shift your approach, because clearly something's not quite working for you, but it's certainly not that you have done anything wrong per se. It's just a time for some slight modifications. It's rare that any original design is flawless right out of the factory, so some tweaking is to be expected. What you might not expect is the radical nature of the shift that will occur in your favor from just doing a little bit of tweaking. If you carry that adventurous spirit with you, and if you carry that willingness to change, with humility, and with also a sense of faith in the validity of your cause, and faith in your own abilities, faith in your own ability to follow through, and faith in your ability to survive the whole experience of the Hanged Man. You can actually handle it. You can handle being turned upside down and looking at something from a completely different angle, coming to a new level of understanding, and also you can certainly handle some cleanup. The ideas and philosophies that are no longer serving you, they can fall away at no expense to you, really. They leave room for much more relevant and productive philosophies and approaches to step into the light.
And that about wraps this up for the month, so thank you for listening to this and for watching. Please do consider contacting me for a personal reading. We can take this so far and go so much deeper than we have here. It's pretty remarkable, really. You can gain so much, as many people have already. IamHelios.com is the website. I'm B.R. Newman. Thanks again.